Hello everyone, my name is Brian Bourgeon and welcome to a new video. For tonight's video, we'll be talking about the most recent NASCAR race that's been arguably one of the most polarizing NASCAR races in a long time. The Texas playoff race from 2022, this year, literally this weekend. This race was arguably one of the most chaotic and, as I've already mentioned, polarizing races in a long time in NASCAR, as multiple issues occurred during this race. Lots of issues occurred. Main notables would definitely, the most notable one would be Cody Ware's incident. Cody Ware's incident that had him with multiple bruises and with some ankle discomfort, but thankfully no broken bones or concussions. So thankfully he's okay. He may return for Talladega. Who knows? We'll see. We're waiting NASCAR's permission to see if he'll be able to race at Talladega or not. But now onto the point. The race at Texas. The race at Texas was, well, the racing at Texas, the on-track product, was arguably the best racing at Texas since the reconfiguration, which is amazing. Because the majority of the Texas races have had really lackluster racing. Ulster race this year had pretty bad racing. That is one of the most hated races right now this year in NASCAR history, due to lots of controversy and issues. And although this somehow on this weekend's race, the racing was way better than I think what all of us expected. It was pretty good. You know, a lot of passing, great battles, and a lot of comers and goers, which pretty good for Texas. But the race was obviously though filled with lots and lots of issues. For example, during stage 3 at the time, both race leaders Kevin Harvick and Mark Truex Jr., who both were leading at the time of the race, suffered tire issues. Harvick blowing a rear tire that unfortunately ended his race. One of many tire issues. Some drivers that had tire issues: Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Mark Truex Jr. Many drivers that suffered tire issues. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well suffered tire issues. Again, tires was a huge problem at Texas this weekend. A massive problem. And I mean, considering how the track surface is, plus the current tire we have right now, it's hard for Goodyear and NASCAR to identify what tire they want to use. And unfortunately, the tire they used for this weekend's race caused a lot of issues, unfortunately. And also safety issues, as I've said. Harvick posted on Twitter that he's taken, that he's pretty sore from the back, from his body after a big crash he had at Texas this weekend, which looked like a little hit, but considering how weak, stiff the rear ends of the cars are, of the next gen cars are, the hits look way harder on the inside compared to how they look on the outside, which has been a massive issue. But it's been a huge problem all year. Safety, tire issues, even power steering issues, which were a big thing at Bristol last weekend. But now Texas, more tires and safety issues, really, which is unfortunate, really, because again, the next gen car, while it produces great race intermediates, it has lots of safety issues, lots of safety issues. But again, as for the race as a whole, I thought the race was pretty good. For Texas, it was really good. As for the normal NASCAR standard intermediates, it was pretty good. Though granted, it had lots of issues. Obviously, as I previously mentioned, tires, safety, all of those problems played a huge factor into last weekend's race. Which again is a shame. Again, it was pretty bad considering everything that occurred. But oh well, hopefully NASCAR next year make a big step forward on both safety and tires, as they're the main issue right now with the next gen car. Hopefully they get those issues fixed and we can have a better car for next year. Also, now to another topic of discussion: William Byron and Denny Hamlin. Stage 3, Denny Hamlin moved William Byron up the racetrack, similar to how Byron moved Joey Logano up the racetrack at Darlington and put him in the wall. Hamlin put Byron in the wall at Texas, the same way how Byron put Logano to the wall. And William Byron didn't like that. After the contact, he pushed basically Denny Hamlin all the way to the inside at turn 3, basically giving him almost no room, which is super tight. And they were racing really hard there. And then a couple laps later, Martin Truex Jr. suffers a tire issue and spins out in the middle of turn 3 and 4, causing a caution. But during that caution, literally a couple seconds after Truex crashed, William Byron took out Denny Hamlin blatantly. Just went full throttle almost, stepped on the throttle, and basically rammed Denny Hamlin out of the way. Spun him out onto the grass. And well, NASCAR unfortunately didn't see that, so they didn't give Byron a penalty during the race. The penalty came today, as of the time I'm recording this. The penalty came in the evening. Byron lost 25 points due to that incident and was fined a couple $1,000, more than $20,000 if I'm correct, for the incident, which in my opinion was well deserved. You don't take out people under cautions. Drivers have been fined, heck, even suspended for those types of incidents. Main notable incidents have to be Kyle Busch on Ron Hornaday, way back in 2011, 2012, around the time. You got Johnny Sauter on Austin Hill, way back in Iowa. You got those incidents where Kyle Busch and Sauter were suspended and fined. Heck, even Kyle Busch reacted on Twitter about the incident, saying that it depends on the guy now that gets, kind of the helping hand from NASCAR avoiding penalties and all that. Which is unfortunate, and more unfortunate, NASCAR never bothered gave Byron a penalty during the race, which was definitely not ideal. And it hurt Byron because, again, maybe a penalty during the race could have perhaps maybe lessened the blow of the current penalty he has now, which is being docked 25 points, which hurts him a lot. Another penalty, and another big incident at Texas, which has been kind of not talked about as much as Byron and Hamlin. Maybe the reason why, because Byron and Hamlin, two popular drivers in NASCAR compared to Gibbs and Ty Dillon, who are not that much. During pit stops, during the caution, Ty Gibbs basically turned left into Ty Dillon in the pit lane, almost hitting pit crew members of the RFK number 17 team, and almost hitting a NASCAR official too. Obviously there, Ty Gibbs was very frustrated and, well, lost his head clearly. It's a simple way to put it. He just lost his head and rammed into Ty Dillon, almost hitting the crew members and safety officials. Now, as for Ty, that's not a smart move at all. It's a terrible move. You should never do that. In a million years, you should never turn into a guy while there's pit stops that are happening literally a couple feet from the drivers, from the pit crew members doing their jobs. You don't turn left into someone while pit crew members are doing that. Obviously, Ty Gibbs was fined $75,000 and docked some points. Also, after that penalty, though, Ty Gibbs issued an apology on Twitter saying that he will try to learn from those mistakes, he'll try to be better, all that. Which, personally, as a fan of Ty Gibbs, I hope he learns from it. He definitely has to learn from those incidents if he wants to be good in the future. Heck, it's a big possibility he'll head to the 18 next year, quote unquote, because who knows, with these types of incidents happening, it could potentially hurt his reputation heading into the 18. Maybe Jogas Racing will say, maybe Ty isn't ready to go to the big leagues yet. Although more than likely, it's unlikely. Ty Gibbs may end up getting the seat because grandpappy, blah, 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 all that stuff. So, yeah, more than likely Ty will end up getting the seat at the 18. Who knows? It's a long way from here to tell what's going to happen. Silly season. A lot of things can change. Heck, John Nemechek could get the seat. Although if Kurt Busch retires, if Kurt Busch retires, that's a whole can of worms that needs to be opened and see what happens. But yeah, as for Byron, Ty Gibbs, also I've already mentioned the various tire issues, the safety issues that plague this race dramatically, like big time, lots of issues, all the way from stage 1, the opening laps, to all the way to stage 3 at the end. And this was a long race. We're talking more than almost 5.5 hours of a race, and we had multiple tire issues during the whole day. Obviously, frustrating as it hurts the flow of racing, and again, considering the hits the drivers take in the next gen car, it hurts a lot, and it's obviously a massive problem that Goodyear and NASCAR need to address. And also considering the penalties that, Byron received, as I've already mentioned, well deserved. You don't take out a driver under caution. Drivers have been suspended and fined for that, and Byron got fined. As for Ty Gibbs' penalty, I would also say well deserved. You never do that, never. And NASCAR dropped the bomb on him with the $75,000 fine and points being docked. Although some think it should be a suspension. Maybe it should have been a suspension because again, you just don't do that. And yeah, also right here, an incident right here. This is one of the incidents I was talking about. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. blowing out a tire on turn 2. Although multiple of the tire issues at Texas occurred in turn 4, as there was like a bit of a bump in 3 and 4, and the surface is a bit sketchy there. Multiple issues on turn 4 tires. Elliott, Bell, Bowman, Kabush, Truex, Harvick, all those drivers suffered with the tire issues in turn 4. Stenhouse was the only driver that didn't have a tire issue in turn 2. But yeah, with the multiple tire issues, it was rough. Very rough. But again, as a fan of NASCAR, always been one, it was definitely frustrating to watch this race. While I did enjoy some parts of it because of the racing was pretty damn good for Texas Motor Speedway. Again, the best since the ring configuration. It was very rough seeing all the issues happen, all the tire issues, all the chaos ensuing. It was rough, to put it lightly. Very rough. Some YouTubers have put in the title worst race in modern NASCAR history. Broken, everything. It's been rough. Going light, I feel, on this because again, this is a massive issue. This race was definitely a race that occurred. But yeah, as for the winner, Tyler Reddick won the Texas playoffs race, his 3rd career win, his 3rd win of the season. Say well deserved win. He came back from a lap down, I believe, early in the race to come home with the win. As for 2nd place, Joey Logano came in 2nd. Justin Haley finished 3rd. Imagine that. 3rd place for Justin Haley at Texas. Absolutely wicked result. I don't think multiple people would have expected that. But yeah, as for guys I want to mention, Haley did a great job. McDowell did a good job, even suffering some issues during stage 3. I'd say he did pretty good. And LaJoy did pretty good today. Noah Gragson did good today, although he obviously did really well in Texas yesterday, so obviously experience. Although Gragson did make a mistake late in stage 3 that unfortunately cost him a better finish. But yeah, Chase Briscoe, Briscoe, considering the car he had at Texas, which was top 25, top 3 at best, the fact he managed to bring it home for a top 10 was amazing. If Briscoe can move on to the next round, he'll thank Texas a lot for that. Because again, it could have been way worse for Chase Briscoe, but it wasn't. But as for the drivers still below the cut line, those drivers are Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman, and William Byron. As to mention, there's one more driver. I'm currently forgetting him right now. But yeah, those are the current drivers that are out of the playoffs. Obviously, Byron, it hurts a lot to be below the cut line, although Henry Motorsports are appealing the penalty to see if there's less of a reduction in points, 25 to maybe 15-10, that could help Byron stay in the playoffs, although by a little amount, heading into Talladega, of all tracks. So honestly, all the points Byron may get will help him a lot, unless he DNFs at Talladega, of course. But yeah, Talladega's next weekend. That race compared to Texas, amazingly enough, could be tame, which is amazing to say. But if you told me that Talladega would be a tame race compared to Texas before the race, I'd call you mad. I'd call you crazy. But I mean, that's how it goes. That's how it went in Texas. It was one of the craziest races in my life of watching NASCAR. Definitely a wild, chaotic, but rough race. Although with some good racing, which can't really complain. I'm a NASCAR fan that loves to watch the racing, good racing, side by side, lots of battles. So I'll definitely take what I got from Texas. Although things do need to be adjusted with the car. Goodyear need to get their heads back in the game, fix the tires. Although Rodney Childress did post on Twitter that it's more of a tire limiter issue, a rule the NASCAR had that's unfortunately hurting how much air the pit crew members can put in the car, which hurts it a lot. But yeah, that's, well, out of everything, I think I've covered everything. And there was a lot to talk about this race. Lots of storylines, Byron versus Hamlin, Gibbs versus Dillon, the tire issues, Cody Ware's incident, the race, the finish, some main notables, all that stuff. But yeah, as of now, I remember, I think the one last driver was Cindric. So it's Bowman, Bell, Cindric, and Byron. Current 4 drivers out. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But yeah, a crazy race at Texas that came with playoff implications, lots of chaos, and a whole lot of controversy regarding the next-gen car. And that would be it for today's video. A long one, definitely a long one, talking about obviously one of the most chaotic races right now in NASCAR. For the wrong reasons though, unfortunately. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed tonight's video. Like, subscribe, all those would be delightful. I would greatly appreciate it. Congratulations to Tyler Reddick on his win at Texas, his third career win. For the third of multiple wins for that man. And yeah, I will see you all at Talladega Superspeedway next week in a couple days. Which, yeah, that race is going to be insane. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Bye-bye.